with me tonight, and I did tell him that he has a big fan at 202 Coleman, a big one. Yeah. I don't know, and I'm hoping he's watching, because he loves seeing you and having you talk. So I'm going to have you talk.
What was his favorite subject?
Anything. He didn't say it. He just said he really liked you being on the TV shows and stuff like that. So
I'm going to be all nervous now. Nervous. I won't be able to do it.
This is looking out for taxpayers. So I'm not going to rant and rave like I do on Tuesdays. And in my opinion, you want that? Wait till Tuesday. So. Actually, Passero has been mayor for 4 to 5 weeks, and there hasn't been any huge problems yet in New London. And I'm surprised, even though in today's paper, minority firefighter hires rejected by Passero, because one of our former mayors, what he did was, he said he was not going to hire the top 3 candidates for firefighters. He was going to nominate...
diversify.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess what they decided to do was ask a lawyer about it and see what kind of legal situations there were involved. So the new mayor has decided to reject the hires that what the former mayor did and go according to what, if it's the top 3, that's who should be chosen. And I agree with that.
You had a fire in your house.
Yes.
Okay. Now supposing you were in one room, you're all filled with smoke and everything, and in the end you're laying on the floor trying to get away from the smoke. And there's firemen outside.
Yeah.
Which fireman would you rather have come looking for you? One at the bottom of the class that wasn't sure where the door was to your house? Or one from the top of the class that knew how to get in the house and had a pretty good idea which room you were in?
Which one has a bigger checkbook?
Yeah.
You're right. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what minority they are. I want the best qualified people to come and get me.
I would too. Yeah.
So I agree with Mike Passero's decision to withdraw those minority names. If they're not, if everybody's able to study, or if that's what it takes to do the exam, they all go through the same course.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go through the same course at the same time.
Well, I would assume so, yes.
I would hope so.
They're in the same class.
That's right. I don't care. They all get the same information, and whoever comes out the tops is what should be chosen. If it's 3 white guys, fine. If it's 3 black guys, fine. If it's 3 Asian guys, fine. I don't care if it's one of each. I think he's absolutely right. That he's not looking. We're not going to be looking into a possible lawsuit unless D'Annunzio had definitely chosen the 3 people, and then now they're saying, "Well, wait a minute. I thought I had a job, and it's not. It's not going to happen." So they decide to choose to sue New London.
I think the rules of hiring, must be followed. What are the rules? Do you take the top people, or is the law say you diversify?
No. It doesn't.
Whichever the rules are.
Yep.
So if it says you take the top 3, you take the top 3.
Right.
When they say take the top 3, it doesn't say what color they have to be.
That's right.
Now, if it's specified color, then it would have to be the top white and the top black, even if the top black happened to be lower than the top white, and so far, down the line.
Right.
So it depends. What are the rules of hiring?
It's very true.
So follow the rules.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
You know, if the rules are wrong, then get the state to change them, if that's what they want. You know, who knows what they want? You know,
I don't know.
probably
I don't know.
depends
I didn't know
what
there was
week
that
it
many
is
people-
and what election is coming up.
I didn't even know that we had people hires for that. I mean, that we needed to hire. Well, I guess they need to replace Mike because he had to retire from the firefighters,
Yeah.
and
You remember what Mike said about his job?
no.
No? He said he had a kid's dream job in the fire department. He sits on the back end of the ladder truck, steering the back end of the truck around. He says a dream job for all the kids, and he has it.
Well, so I guess he moved to the head of the class.
Yeah.
So good for good for him.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah.
So that's really the main thing that I've seen for New London. You saw the city council meeting, right?
Yeah, I was there.
Any-
No, I was there long enough to yap as usual and get up and leave.
Oh.
They had.
Have they changed anything regarding speaking at the city council meetings?
Well, they didn't that time. You know, like Dennis was saying before, depending on how big the crowd was to speak, you know, she was going to cut it down, you know, to 3 minutes or whatever. But no, there wasn't anything said. But the big thing was they were having an executive meeting.
For what?
The pedestrian bridge.
Uh-huh.
So they were going to have all the, people that were involved, you know, like lawyers and Ranowski and the railroad and or the Coast Guard, you know, and whoever else.
I don't know why.
But they said what they were going to discuss was the pedestrian bridge. Why does that have to be in secret? We already know. The public knows. That thing is being built on private property. 4 properties. It starts on private property.
Yeah.
It ends on private property. Why tell us about it at all?
What private property does it end at?
Ranowski's.
Where does it start?
On a train station property. When the state came down and made their presentation.
I thought it was going to be from the Water Street parking garage.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Oh, so they're going, okay,
See,
I know what
they
you're saying.
chopped that bit
They
off
chopped- right.
because we knocked it down, what, 5, 6 years ago, 8 years ago?
We seem to knock it down almost every year.
Well, anyway, so it's supposed to, because when the state made their presentation, there was only 2 of us there interested to listen to the state. And it starts on train station property, goes over the tracks, you know, that's airspace of Amtrak, that's the second property owner, you know, and it makes like a bend at the Coast Guard, that's the third, and then sets down on the ground, and
On
the ferry
Ranowski.
property.
Okay.
And,
If that's where it starts and stops,
yeah,
I don't care, as long as they pay for it.
well, this is the whole point. When I brought that up to the state, they wanted the citizens of the town to own it and pay for it. And that's why we keep fighting about it. So anyway, I brought it up. I said, this thing is going to be $20 million. The state says they're giving $20 million to build it. So it's going to be worth $20 million.
What a waste
Now,
of money.
that's the value. I says the state put that value on it.
Yeah.
So I says, that's a project. That means it's subject to property tax. I says, this was never mentioned. It's subject to property tax. So there's 4
Owners.
landowners
Right.
should be paying that property tax. Now, 70% of 20 million is 14 million.
Yeah.
At
At 40 mils,
38 mils right now. Oh, did it go up again?
it's 40.
Oh, I'm behind times. That
You want to take a call on it?
oh, all right. You can interrupt me. Go ahead.
Good evening, you're on.
Good evening, guys. I want Larry to finish.
Go right in. Oh, are you going to stay on the
But I want
phone?
him to finish.
Good. Larry will finish you. You stay on the phone, okay?
Well,
Right.
I right this minute, I better stick to my 3.8 instead of 40. I didn't realize it did go up to 40. You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Well, I could figure it out, but let me do it this way. At 3.8, that's 38 mils.
Right.
That's another thing. Why do they say 38 mils when it's actually much easier for people to figure if they say 3.8%? Wouldn't that be a lot easier to figure for people?
Yeah, but you have to remember, who are we dealing with?
Well, yeah, the city council.
We're dealing with government.
Well, the government, yeah,
And
they want it
It's
complicated.
already been proven
so you
year
don't
after
know.
year after year. The government's
Anyway,
not very smart.
With my old-fashioned figures,
Right.
if I'm behind a year,
No, you're
it would be $532,000
thousands.
taxes.
Right.
So those 4 properties would be liable for paying that.
That's okay. Yeah, that's true.
But I says, because they're going for their secret meeting. I said, I said, my guess is what they want to do is figure out how
To get New London to pay for
to
it.
get New London to pay for it and not
That's
not those
That's
people.
the one thing we will definitely put a petition out for.
So I said, the way you can do it now is to declare the pedestrian bridge tax exempt. I says, only you got to be careful, because if you do that, the land that it sits on and the other land that crosses, they would automatically become tax exempt. So all of that property is possible to be tax exempt. I said, now the other thing to do is you eminent domain the footprint of the pedestrian bridge. The square foot area it takes to put your stairs and the elevator and possibly the escalator on, just eminent domain those sections, and that way the pedestrian bridge would be tax exempt. But the rest of the properties, they would still have to pay their own taxes.
So
I said, then what you do is, I said, what you do all the time, you still want that $500,000 tax money. I said, you do what you want, or you would always do, raise the taxes on the homeowners. Says that's what you always do, and this is where you get your other $500,000. No, I'm watching them all as I'm going. They're all staring me down like that. Not one of them, not one flicker. They'd move an eyelid, nothing. So I didn't see any daggers coming my way, but I don't know what they had in mind. But I've been looking every day. There was no notice in the newspaper
Nothing.
about what their secret behind closed doors meeting was.
you still there, caller?
Yeah, I'm here. Larry, I think part of the reason you didn't see nothing in the paper is because they probably came out of the meeting and said there was no vote taken and something else that they say. So it's probably everything's on hold, because between myself and you, we hit them with some stuff to think about. And I think sometimes, like the way you just described it, I don't know how many of them people up in that council understood what you were saying. And sometimes they just, when they don't understand you, they're not paying attention to you, and they should pay attention. Now, this pedestrian bridge thing, you're right, Eric. This may be the thing that starts it all up again. I mean, it's like getting jammed down our throat again. People think that $20 million from the state well, then that don't pertain to us, but it's still our money. We're paying into that $20 million, except we're getting everybody in Connecticut to also chip in for this bridge. Now, the sticking point for me, the main sticking point, is the upkeep and the security of this bridge. Like Larry says, this bridge is on private property on both sides, except for, and I never knew we had airspace, but according to
That's
them,
private property. Airspace is private property.
What's that?
Airspace is private property.
All right, see, that's a new one on me. So, they're talking about upkeeping this, and I brought up at the council meeting, we can't even take care of our own buildings in town, and we're going to have new schools, and we can't take care of the schools in our town. So in order for us to maintain that bridge, we're going to have to pull people from other projects in the town, and we don't have enough people to do that. You realize, I think we only have one painter in the whole town that works for the city, one painter, and I don't think there's too many more plumbers. So I don't know where these people are going to come from. Now, the simple solution to this, and I think Larry has said this in the past, I think you have, Eric, is we got to get someone to pay for this. And if Rogowski would just charge an extra $1 a head, he would make enough money in a year to not only maintain that bridge, but he will also there'd be enough money for security on that bridge. And, if he is such a great employer and such a great benefit to this city, I don't know what his problem is. $1 is not going to affect these people coming on and off those boats at all. And he could come off being a pretty, like a savior for New London, but he chooses not to do it. Why? Is it greed? I mean, is $1 going to break his bank? You guys there?
You couldn't get the Ranowskis to okay a $1 fee, increase the fare for $1 to pay a port fee, say, or a disembark-embark fee for the City of New London to help out the City of New London. And now you're suggesting that they charge an extra $1 that would help pay for the pedestrian bridge.
Well, look at it this way, and Larry can talk to this if he chooses later, but the land that this terminal that they're going to get, the Cross South Mary is going to get, that land was sold to them dirt cheap. New London did that for them.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, it's just a goodwill thing to help the city out. I think Larry's right. I think all that stuff's going to end up being non-taxable. I think his terminal is going to be non-taxable. Eventually, maybe his property is going to be non-taxable. I don't know. But, we need some help here. We don't have this kind of money. A friend of mine said to me, well, this is a good thing. We can create some more jobs. Until I explained to him how we don't have enough money to pay for these jobs, then it was a whole different story. And people got to wake up and realize that. We have a certain amount of money we bring into our city, not counting the state and federal monies. That's what we should be looking at every year. That's what we should be looking at, how we're going to run our city. This is the money we have. Anything above that is just extra that you don't count on. But we don't do that.
Do you have any?
I'm going to let you guys go and keep yakking. So.
Well, thank you so much.
Well,
he wants you
says,
to talk.
Speaking of talking, last time I was here, that was loud. This time it's not as loud. It's tough for me to, really hear.
I wish you'd talk. I have new hearing aids.
You have. No, I lost one of mine, so I only have one.
The new hearing aids have a big advantage. The old hearing aids, which I still have, covered 17 chambers, they said, of the ear. This one covers 23 out of 28 or something like that. So the clarity is much better. And I'm so far really thrilled with this. It goes a little deeper in the ear, and I can bring up the volume this way, but they're also rechargeables, which is different. But no, I don't. I don't think I would ever like that idea that for the eminent domain situation that would put eminent domain. Well, that the railway station and the Ranowski property ends up being non-taxable. I think they would love it, but that would devastate. How much money do we get for taxes for both of these properties?
I just happen to have a little bit of
I knew
numbers.
you would. So how much money would we
first,
lose?
but first, I wanted to say while I was making this, declaration, speech,
Yeah.
or whatever, I'm watching all of them up there. I'm looking to see which ones are writing notes. Nothing. And I got home. Barbara said the only one she saw writing notes was the lawyer, because he was going to be in on the meeting.
Yeah.
And it seemed like after I left that Nolan made a comment. You know, 'cause usually they don't answer, so I get up and leave. And
They wait for you to leave.
so I left this time, and she says, Nolan answered. And he says, well, yes, we're going to have to look at this a little more closely. So that's
A little bit more
that's
closely.
what.
I received a card. You're going to give me the numbers in a minute, but I just want to let you know I received a card from a friend.
Uh-huh.
He said, ignorance is curable, stupid is forever.
Oh, okay.
Okay, take it for what you.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are the numbers that we would lose if this?
lose?
Yes.
Oh, well.
In tax purposes, if they were tax exempt.
Oh, I mean all of those properties?
No, those two properties, Ranowski property and the station property, railroad station property. If
Well, there'd be three properties. If they made
well, the Coast Guard. Well, no, the Coast Guard's tax
No.
exempt anyway.
the railroad.
The Amtrak.
Well, yes. If they made the entire railroad station and Ranowski tax exempt
Then the
by
railway.
doing it the wrong way,
Yeah.
also the railroad would be
All
tax exempt. You know, it runs across New London.
That's-
All of that property would be tax exempt.
Okay.
If they did it that way. That's why I gave them the other choice. I says, eminent domain, the footprints. That would make just the bridge tax exempt.
Right. This, regardless.
So
is gonna
I'm
be
telling
an
them
outcome.
what to do, because before they go into their secret
And
meeting.
And you're telling them, let's just tax New London residents higher because we're going to lose this money.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, but like Dennis was saying, you know, they're always after, you know, the
Screwing the
state-
public.
Well, yeah, the city council,
Yeah.
but they're also after what they term free money, you know, state money and free
Right.
federal money. But the thing I see against that is, why do we want to keep doing that? Why don't we want New London to be independent and pay its own way?
Because since the 1960s, when they started taking federal dollars,
Yeah,
New London lost its right to be independent.
yeah,
So until they stop taking federal dollars, which they can't,
yeah,
they will never do, New London will never be independent.
yeah.
So I'm still waiting for you to tell me about the money.
Well,
but
no, little money here, which one was I wanted to talk to you about a little bit here. This is something I was saving for my next foray, but we'll work on it now a little bit, because they don't watch anyway, so.
no, that's true.
Oh.
As Dennis says, we're
Now,
always
right
preaching
now-
to the choir.
Right now, I'm going to discount the illegal sale of the property to Ranowski. That's another little story.
Yeah.
We're going by that.
Right.
Now, the property that they sold to Ranowski is 6,000 square feet.
Okay.
Now, before, we were renting that to Ranowski.
Right.
Now, when we were renting it, they got it at a cheap rate of, what was it, $12,000 a year?
Right.
And
But now we get nothing.
they made 85,000 from parking cars there.
Right.
Now, if the city owned it, well, they could have got $85,000. They'd rather have $12,000. So now what they did, they decided to sell it, illegally, of course.
Of course.
And since they sold it at, which comes out to $20 a square
A square
foot.
foot, right.
Okay, so what I'm getting at is they keep telling us we have to bring businesses into town so we can have a broader tax base. You know, that sounds reasonable?
Mm-hmm.
Except in practice. Now, that's $20 a square foot, but that's the value the town put on it. Now, this is waterfront property, commercial.
Right.
Whoever owns that they're allowed to make as much money as they possibly could. But this is how valuable they think that waterfront commercial property is, $20 a square foot. Now, as for tax purposes, 70% of that is $14. $14 a square foot for super valuable waterfront commercial property, which comes out to, let's see. Actually, we're talking about square feet, comes out to about 53 cents a square foot property tax. You know, you can figure that out on your own tax bill too, you know, because you have the land, tells you how many square feet, and the house. So anybody listening, you can do that and compare it to what the city council, you know, considers super valuable waterfront commercial property is only taxed at 53 cents a square foot. Now, but now consider a house on waterfront property. You know, that's not allowed to have business. They can't even put up a lemonade stand. They cannot do any sort of business there. Private home. Now, I found one that's exactly 6,000 square feet, the same as what they pretty much gave to Ranowski.
Right.
Now, their square foot price is $69 and change. So, I don't have that. I'm trying to remember what that figure was. I think $27 or something a square foot in taxes.
Okay.
But what I do have here is the piece that they sold to Ranowski. They're going to collect $3,192. Well, I'm going by my 3.8, but you said it's 4.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
$3,192 in taxes they're going to get from that piece of property. They
thought-
were getting $12,000.
Right.
They didn't want it.
I thought that once that the Ranowskis got that money, got the property, that now it's not even included in their prices anymore. Am I wrong about that?
What do you mean? It's tax exempt?
Yeah.
No, it isn't. Not yet. They have to declare it tax
Okay,
exempt.
no, but I didn't think they were paying.
I'm going by the figures that they put out. These are their figures.
Oh, I know.
I don't take them out of the air. That's what the tax assessor does. She takes the figures out of the air. So now the town is going to get $3,192 a year, and it's not their property anymore.
The problem was...
When it was, okay, go ahead.
Do you remember the problem being that if they wanted to sell that property to an individual, that sure, the individual can do what, if they bought the property and it would be taxed, but there was no way to get to that property. You had to go on somebody else's property in order to get there.
No, I said I was going to discount the illegal sale. That's another subject. Let me finish this first, then we'll go back to the sale.
Okay.
They're perfectly happy collecting $3,000 in taxes from that property.
Right.
When 2 years ago, they were getting $12,000 a year and still owned the property. Does that make sense? Now compare that.
It makes-
Compare that to this private home,
Yeah.
waterfront property,
Right.
the exact same square footage. They have to pay $18,000 taxes for that piece of property. $18,000, and they're not allowed to make a nickel.
Right.
They're all screwed up, absolutely backwards.
But again, why is it like this?
Why?
It's government. Government is so screwed up to begin with. They think they can do it. They want to. This is because it's not anything of the
Well-
people, for the people, or by the people. It's I want to screw the public as much as possible, and that's what government
Well,
does.
this is Hillary. Hillary gave an answer to what you were just asking.
What difference does it make?
No. This was another answer.
But
With her speeches,
yeah,
what she believes in, and is pretty much the same as our city council. We on the city council, we want everybody else to be socialist, but we want to stay capitalist.
Right.
And that's what Hillary said. She wants to stay capitalist. She's collected all of those millions and millions of dollars from foreign countries, but she wants everybody else to be socialist.
right.
Well, that's what our city council is doing. Now, if you want to start back on the
See,
illegal sale, we can dive into that. You want to
okay,
do that next?
We will. But I got
Okay.
one comment.
Okay.
Why doesn't the city council ever realize that what they do may affect the people about raising their taxes and everything, but it never comes back to, wait a minute, I just raised my own taxes a whole bunch.
No, they don't.
No. They're living in the city too. They have to pay those taxes as well. You think they're lowering the value of their houses?
No. Let me tell you what Finingio said. I am picking out 25%
Yeah.
of the people to pay their taxes plus extra high taxes.
Right.
So 75% of the people, their taxes don't go up.
Right.
That's what Finingio said.
Right.
Okay, now when I go to the city council, I say what you guys did. That's 1 out of
Right.
4.
I remember what you said.
1 out of 4.
Yes.
I said, you raised my taxes, so 3 of you sitting right there, your taxes don't go up. I have to pay the increase in your taxes. So their taxes don't go up.
Okay.
It's
So-
the law now.
Yeah.
And we're stuck with that law. It's not just that 1 year. This goes on year after year
Oh, I know
until
that.
they change it.
Well, 4 years.
I told that to Passero.
So what? Oh, you think he's going to do that to his now? Is he going to be fair?
No, I talked to him about it.
And?
he says, I know what you mean. I said, that didn't seem quite right. I said, okay, what are you going to do about it? It's just like the city council. You won't answer. So,
We won't know until
what?
June.
No, he could change it anytime. He could change that law anytime.
Well, he can, but then it still has to be decided by the city council, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We'll find out in June.
Yeah, but they won't do it. we
We
know they
find-
won't.
We'll find out in June.
Okay.
All right, now the 18,000, right? The next part of that.
Well, the 18,000 is what the private homeowner has to pay
Right.
for the property that his house sits on.
Right,
This isn't counting that's not counting the house. That's just the same,
The property.
yeah.
Right.
6,000 square feet compared to commercial property.
Right.
That now, this is etched in the law. That if you want any more commercial property, that's the value. Because the town said so. This is
Right.
the value of waterfront commercial property in New London. $20 a square foot to buy. Imagine that. Luckily, there is no waterfront property to develop in Fort Trumbull. Even though they say there isn't any.
That's true.
Why is it true?
I've been
Tell this guy, where was he, you said on Coleman Street that likes the show?
Yeah.
All right, explain to him why it's true.
Well, Fort Trumbull may overlook water, but it's not right on the water.
It isn't?
I think I've been, the property that's at Fort Trumbull, okay, so if you go down farther where
Where's the Coast Guard station?
their actual stations in Waterford, but they dock at the at Fort Trumbull, that dock area. So that's the waterfront.
That's waterfront.
Right.
Yeah.
But do they get billed? It's
No,
Coast Guard.
no, not that.
It's
I'm
state.
just saying.
Or
that
federal.
There is no waterfront property there available for development. There's a lot of vacant land.
A lot of vacant land.
Yeah.
The actual properties that they can develop
Yeah.
doesn't go on the waterfront. It's in the middle that they
Well,
took. That's not
What
the
happened? How did it get in the middle and doesn't
Well,
go to the water?
There's other properties around it. You've been around.
Well,
Fort
I know.
Trumbull.
I
know.
I know why. I want to see if you
do
know
I know
why.
actually why? I mean, it's not on the water. It's not the
Well, how about the fishing boat that comes in?
from where? That's from the docks. At the docks, that's
Yeah.
Fort Trumbull.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Fort Trumbull.
But the properties itself are in the middle.
Oh, so no property goes to the water.
I don't think any of the actual. I'm talking about development land property that
Yeah.
that the houses were
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
It's called the Fort Trumbull area, but
Yeah.
it's not Fort Trumbull itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
So, all right, you want to give me the other end. I understand what I'm saying about how it's actually not.
No, but your economic development committee or agency, whatever, and the Renaissance rebuilding outfit,
Right.
they all advertise it as being waterfront, and there is none.
No. Even what were the properties that was supposed to be done? Those condominiums.
Well, no, they're not on the shore. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But so that's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
not water. It's not on the shore.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah, but
all those
why
other
isn't
houses,
it-
the little
why-
pink house, the Cristoforos house,
Yeah.
that was not on the shore.
No. But then.
Well, all right, so where
why
is-
are they saying
I don't know. What about Humphreyville's?
Humphreyville?
Yeah.
Did I
His
say
shop-
something
his-
about Humphreyville?
No, but his shop is on.
Oh no, that's not even on the Fort Trumbull property.
No, but that's in that whole peninsula.
Yeah.
Does that go to the shore at all?
Not his property.
Okay.
No, because you got to remember. I can go back a little more to the beginning, explain it to you.
I know.
You know what
none of that property is on the actual shore.
Yeah.
That I know.
Yeah. Why?
Why?
Yeah, because there's nothing built there.
All right, tell me why. I don't.
Well, all right.
Why isn't
What's the obstacle? Yeah, to where they want to build those apartments and those houses.
What is the obstacle?
Yeah.
The overpass. No.
No.
I'm not following. What do you mean the obstacle?
Okay. All right. No, I just wanted to explain to you why there is no waterfront property available for development, and they keep advertising it's waterfront property.
You know what?
You
Larry?
know where they put that walkway? From where the close to where the fishing dock is?
Yeah.
There's a walkway along the edge.
Yes.
Okay, so everything on one side of that is not waterfront anymore.
Right.
The only waterfront property is where the sidewalk is.
This is the same analogy
Uh-huh.
that I was told I have a water view from my house.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that's
why
what
my
these are going to
properties
be,
were- well,
water view.
Do you know when I have a water view from my house?
Yeah.
In the winter,
Yeah.
when you go up to my bedroom,
Yeah.
and you look out through the window in the corner of my window, and I
Yeah.
look out,
Yeah. That's
I
it.
can see the water.
That's it.
Or I can go on my roof
Yeah.
and look at and see the water.
That's it. That's what you need.
It's ridiculous. Okay, I understand where the walkway. On the other
Yeah.
side of the walkway is the shore. On the other side is
Yeah.
not. Right.
Yeah. See? So why did they do that? The
There-
place is empty.
Well, it's going to
Right away, why did they spend money to make that walkway? To get around another law that they made many years ago.
Which was?
You cannot build on waterfront property unless the project you're building is water dependent.
Okay.
And they can't get any businesses to be water dependent.
Okay.
You remember with the mill property? That's where EB is now? It used to be the mill property?
That's before me.
Oh, that's before you? Well, that was a mess. Because they had a carpet factory there years ago. They took all that down, and they spent so many millions of dollars cleaning all that up.
Okay.
And once it was cleaned up, there was at least 4 or 5 projects that wanted to build there. He went through all kinds of paperwork. Then finally the town said, well, the project is not water dependent, so you can't have it.
Okay.
So eventually what they did, they're breaking their own laws.
Mm-hmm.
He said, we got to do something. So if you go down there, and if you look around, there is a walkway put in to go around Pfizer's, except that there's one from this side, but there is a short spot where they don't connect. So they're still being illegal. So now, with that walkway around there, the parcel in between there is not waterfront anymore. So then they could put there any kind of enterprise they wanted to. That's how they managed to put Pfizer in there, because Pfizer is not water dependent. So now when they want to develop Fort Trumbull, in order to get any kind of business to come in there, they put that walkway around there to seal off any waterfront property.
So they don't have to be water dependent.
Yeah. They keep saying it's the most wonderful piece of waterfront property in Connecticut, and then they kill it.
They kill it. So, and still there's no plans for development there.
No, the last ones all fell through again.
So,
No. Would you want to change the subject? No?
go ahead.
No. Well, no. Big thing, going on and coming up is, the parking. EV
EV parking. at Fort-
parking,
Okay. What are
and
they
also the rebuilding of the city parking lot.
off of Eugene O'Neill?
And before I go any further, the next parking authority meeting will be on January 21st at the library at 5:30. Now, it's being moved from the garage because they're expecting a lot more people to come in with hundreds of complaints.
Well,
So,
and this is for the parking on Eugene O'Neill, right?
well,
They're planning
they'll be talking about the that parking lot, yes, but it's going to be a lot about people
Taking-
complaining with EB parking in front of their houses and everything.
Right.
I don't know if you noticed, some of the side streets have more signs going up with bags over them. And
no,
they're
I
trying
haven't
to,
noticed it yet, but
some of the side streets, there's like,
What's-
what is
what's
it,
the si-
Ann and Willits, they want to make it resident parking only.
okay.
And some different things. So I suggest anybody has any kind of interest, start coming to these meetings, because there are going to be a lot of complaints. I don't know, what, a year?
So it's a Thursday. The 21st is a Thursday
Yeah,
at 5:30 at the
5:30
library.
at the
Other,
library.
the other thing is, from what I understand about the parking lot on Eugene O'Neill, they're going to redo it, but it's going to mean it's a decrease,
40 spaces.
40 spaces.
Yeah.
How many times have people discussed putting a second floor on this, on those? Why don't they put a second floor on a store, start building up for a second story? And then if you're going to park, I don't care if you put a meter up there or something like that. I mean, you can't.
Well, eventually there's going to be meters all over town, and they're going to sneak that in on
They're
you.
going to, Larry, you've got to get some sort of income from this.
Yeah, yeah.
Because how many times did people complain that store owner employees are they're parking on the street in front of the store?
I'd leave that up to the employer.
Well, no, I'm not disagreeing with you,
yeah.
but they need definitely more parking in New London.
if
Why
they don't-
doesn't they give a part of that property at Fort Trumbull to EB or tell them, or pave the road, pave a small area. I don't care how big a small area to hold
Now
600
you brought up
cars,
another one of my arguments.
and charge them for it.
There's something like that, still up here. But
The
We-
city doesn't know how to make any money. How to
yes,
bring
yes, they do.
Well, yeah, by
They get it
stealing-
from the state, and they get it from the federal government,
And
and
they
they
get
get
it
it
from
from
the
the
tax
homeowners.
right.
They know all kinds of ways of making money.
Well, yeah, to steal from us, but except
Yeah.
for doing what's right.
Yeah, yeah.
But we can't say it about this council yet because they haven't done anything stupid yet.
Yes, they have. They haven't done anything about reversing that deal of making you pay extra high taxes so they don't have to. They can change that anytime they want.
Anytime they want. I understand what you're saying. They're not going to do that, of course. They're
Well-
going to wait till tax time
Yeah.
in order to do something.
No, that something is they'll raise the taxes.
Well, that's one of the big things that Passero was saying, that he was not going to raise the taxes. He said maybe the 2.5% or something
yeah,
like
I
that they
forgot
were
if
allowed.
I brought this up last time. You remember when the businesses came in and said, if you
And
raise our taxes again,
we're
we're
outta
going to
here.
run out of town?
I wish
right.
they would have gone. I
Me
really do.
too. Should have called their bluff.
They should have called their bluff.
Where the heck was it? I forgot where that was now.
But what's it going to take?
Uh,
Do you think a tax increase this year is going to force those store owners to actually threaten again to say, look, we told you last year,
No.
you raised our taxes, and you did, but it wasn't enough for us to flee. But if you do it again, it's like Obama said, we're
they
drawing the
won't-
red line. You do
they
this,
won't
and we're going to.
leave. They won't leave because I got a whole nother show to give you on the business property taxes. They won't leave. No matter what, they will not leave. Because you don't realize how low the business property taxes are. I gave you one example, and that waterfront
right.
property.
Do
Why would they leave
Well,
when they're sitting there for free?
don't they also pay an extra 5% to the Downtown New London Association?
That's voluntary.
Oh,
I
is
mean, why bring that up to the public? They're doing that on their own, for their own advertising.
Okay, I didn't
They're
know.
not doing it
I
for
thought
your
that was-
benefit.
No, I thought it was mandatory.
No, they're not doing it for
Okay.
your benefit.
Okay, so
what are you getting out of
If
it?
I open up a shop in downtown, I can tell them, no, I'm not paying the extra 5%.
If you want.
Okay. What
No.
are they going to do to me?
Oh, I don't know.
You know there's a retribution coming.
Well,
What do
yeah.
they- Okay.
Yeah, but I say it's voluntary. It's not.
All right.
It's not by the town or,
Well, I don't
or
know
the
what-
state or anything.
There are properties still for sale in downtown New London.
Yeah.
What does it take for the store owners to get so fed up? Are they doing that?
No.
Are they
they're
doing
not
really
fed-
good business?
They're not. No. See,
They're not doing good
No,
business.
because you don't understand the tax structure that they have. Their taxes are so low, they just sit there and laugh at us.
Do you know what the mill rate of the of their properties are downtown?
Well, no, you'd have to, no, if I knew what to do with the computer, like anybody can, you could bring that up and find anybody's, house.
Yeah, all right,
and,
so-
and taxes and everything.
They're not getting taxed like you or I are getting on our homes.
They're not getting assessed.
Assessed.
They're not getting
taxed.
assessed.
Right, they're getting
Let
taxed.
me give you one
I
little
understand.
example.
Go ahead.
There's a three-story brick building, not very big, on the corner of Golden and whatever else is there.
Yeah.
There's a business on the first floor. The
Golden
previous
and Eugene
owner,
O'Neill?
no, the previous owner, I guess, lived on the second floor.
Right.
So it was also his home.
Right.
Third floor, I guess,
Empty.
forget. Now, for at least 10 years, while everybody else was going up, his taxes were $1,500 a year. $1,500 a year. In downtown business district. How is that possible? $1,500 a year. A couple of years ago it went up. It went all the way up to $1,800. Now while he's paying $1,500 a year, I'm a single family home, I'm paying $15,000.
Right.
Now he's in business where he can make money, and that's what he pays.
Right. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm trying to tell you
Right.
the
I know-
tax
I know it's
structure
yes.
downtown. All of those businesses, they pay taxes on the first floor. Second floor, third floor is empty,
Yeah.
no taxes.
When's our next assessment, our reassessment? Do you know? Is it?
Well, it's
2 or
got to
3
be every
years?
5 years.
I know. When was the last one? Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they have to, because we can't get reassessed yet, but they have to do something about downtown, but they're not going to do
No,
it.
they're not going to.
No. They can't afford to
No.
lose the businesses they have.
Why? I just showed you here, get rid of all the businesses and build homes. You get 5 times more taxes out of a private home than you do out of a business property.
Right, but we're talking about New London, and we're getting done.
Oh, okay.
We'll do it again.
You'll do it again. Okay.
Thanks a lot. Take care.